Hello, I'm back to play some more Islanders New Shores. Now, last time I ran straight into the Can't Stop Won't Stop challenge because I thought that you could go infinite with boons, and yes, you can. And I didn't take any time to go over the rest of the update. I'm going to go over the challenges first. Ghost Whisperer, which is 2 statues with wisps. The only scoring that you can get, like towards your final score, is with a wisp. Otherwise, it won't count. Clairvoyage, which is just Temple Trouble, but for the Fortune Teller. And then Industrious, which is fully stacked, but more skewed towards the farming and industry side compared to the residential side. I'm going to be doing Clairvoyage next because Fortune Teller math is really fun. But something that you'll notice is that if I go into Ghost Whisperer as a challenge, we're going to be brought to a new biome. This biome is the Halloween biome. It's going to stick around in the game the entire time. Got a new soundtrack, which I might not like in comparison to the regular. Not to say that the Halloween soundtrack is bad, but just that like the original Islander soundtrack is so good. You've got a nice purple and orange, what is it, UI elements instead of like your pink for your fantasy or your orange for your desert, green or darker green for tropical and temperate. And the trees I've seen, they get candles when they become blooming trees. If I could get verdure early, then I could show you. But oh, you also get different building packs when you open them up. But this is something for me to explore later. I'm not going to be playing it quite yet. Let's go back out to the other challenges. I guess I could also say that there is a new boon that's in the pool you would have seen from the previous video. It's Replace. You discard the highest amount of buildings that you have, and you earn 1.5 times that amount back. The buildings aren't random or anything like that. They're still drawing from the regular pool of buildings that you have. I think there is a caveat in that whatever building you discard, you don't get to redraw any of them after you've used the Replace. Not 100% sure on that. I could review my VOD of the Infinite Run and see if that is the case or not. But for right now, I'm going to play some Clairvoyage. Alright, so how does this one work? Score for the highest fortune teller. Usually, how you do fortune teller math is that, especially in these challenges, it's made a bit simpler because you get 6 building draw and that never limits. Usually on other islands, when you get to the end of the score loop the first time around, you get 5 draw and then 4 and then 3 and then 2 and then 1. However much you're drawing, in this case it's always 6, you're going to divide the amount of points that you have total by that number. So this would be 20 divided by 6. If I can place 6 buildings to get to the next round, then it is viable for me to play those buildings compared to playing the fortune teller. We'll get into some more caveats as I continue playing buildings in the future. In the early game, yeah, of course you're going to want to play buildings because like that's how you get a higher scoring fortune teller. Right now, this thing is worth 0. I'm going to need more than that. Overall strategy, we're going to need, I don't care about the buildings that the fortune teller scales off of. I care about the amount of buildings that I have in my bar. Sure, I could maybe try putting down like a bunch of pyres beside each other. That's fine. That's good. I am not going to be doing cliff houses. I'm not going to be doing plateaus. I'm not going to be doing shamans, and taverns. Maybe if I have them left over, but I think they're going to be more worth it for the 100 points that they're worth. Then those 100 points will earn me more buildings. I would like duplications and bargains because if I place down a fortune teller that's worth like 500 or 600 points, that's earning me a bunch of buildings, and all of those buildings are going to make my next fortune teller worth more. So if I can have a chain of like 4 of them, 4 fortune tellers in a row, beautiful, beautiful. I would need a score multiplier for all 4 of them in a perfect world. I'm probably only going to get 2. It's fine. I would like to set up a guild hall inverter before I get into the using my first fortune teller. So my residential building should be around a temple pit, and I should be looking for 1, maybe 2 level ups. We'll get into like how I'm gonna score and like when I'm gonna stop building my guild hall pit in the future. But that's something that I should be keeping in mind. There's no other boons that I really need. It's level up for the guild hall inverter because it's overpowered. Blossom because we'll want our verdures to do better. Like the classics basically. So let me start by opening up a building pack. Let's go with verdure because that's a great first. Okay, so the pumpkins count as nothing. I can place trees inside of them, so just there to be nice. Okay, that's cute. And then we've got, what is it? This isn't going to show any blooming trees. That's actually good. Oh, okay, so this is a temperate biome, it looks like, then? Just a reskin of a temperate biome, because I think the trees are, like, the same size. They're big. They've got, like, no leaves compared to the regular ones. Where's the statue for this? Because, like, usually these, from what I remember, these kinds of islands, okay, never mind. They spawn with the statue down here, up here, or in this corner, or they're usually the island type that gives you 3 statues to play. So I thought that this might be that, which is weird why it gave me Verdure first, but no, there's just a statue down here. And I really don't feel like playing my green area down here. This is going to be so much better as a residential area. Probably where I put my guild hall and my temple pit, because I can put some wall platforms around this section pretty nicely. Or this one actually feels a bit more open, and I can put on like maybe one wall platform, it extends out to here, and then a second wall platform, it extends out to here, and then they're like just about kissing basically. I can fill up this space completely with wall platforms. If this wall platform can't reach all the way over, then I can place one coming out of here, and then one coming off of this wall, then a third one over here, a terrace down here, and then that's where I'm putting down the majority of my buildings. So this is not where my verdures go. Verdures could go up top, but there's a bunch of flowers in the way, and it just feels like it's going to be, well, no, that this could be another viable area for verdures. If I play it down here, am I shooting myself in the foot because there isn't enough place to put down like parks or the lake? And I guess I could save this for all of my wheat fields then. That'll probably be better. Okay, so it is verdures up here. I'm just overthinking it. We're going to look for 15-point verdures and ones that also spawn. Oh, hold on. No, those are actually, let me place this and undo it so you can see them a bit better. These are blooming trees right now. So this is a fantasy biome. Okay. Or a desert, I guess. I'm gonna say it's a fantasy instead. I should say fantasy-like, desert-like. They're not exactly the same. So this gives me the full 15. It puts one tree towards the center, but that's like all right since I already have trees towards, or I already have flowers over here that are stopping me from playing more in the future. Because like if I were to play one here and I don't spawn all the trees, if I try to play one like up here to fill up more of this space in the future, these flowers are going to get in my way. So I think I just play the full 15. Okay. And if I were to play one more in the future, I could maybe get it down here. No, it's not looking like it. I guess I could play one here, then I try to fit a bunch of trees beside the other ones. It's so hard to play with so much, like, in front of me. There's so much noise on the Halloween maps. I mean, it's great for people that like decorations. I'm a guy that's for function over form, if you couldn't already tell, so... For me, it's going to be a mild annoyance. This is fine. It keeps the 2 flower trees to the outside, so I can do this. And I can play one more in here, only taking 1 -5, trying to stack some more trees closer together. Am I going to have enough verdures to make it to the next round? If I draw 2 more, then I'll be fine. That means that I draw 1 seaweed farm and 3 fields. I don't think I want to chance it. I'm going to take a brickmaker pack first. I could have chanced it. I could have chanced it. Because I'd be scoring 1 for 10 and then 2 for 15. Or, I guess, no. No, I could have taken the seaweed farm this early, because I could have played the seaweed farm itself for 10 points. Oh, I forgot. Let me check out to see what the leaderboard is looking like for this challenge so far. So Johan is one of the devs of this game, same with Lettuce Hat. I don't think there are many others. And this is, let me check the Discord real quick so that I can get this name right. I think they used to be called Nevi, but now they've got a profile name of Ducky in the Discord. They've got another good score on, I think it's Metropolis over here. Yeah. I hope to see more of their scores up on the leaderboards soon, but I believe if the devs are hitting around 1,000, there's gotta be a way. There's definitely gonna be a way to get above it. Come on. And don't get me wrong, these are good scores to be putting up on the leaderboards, right? But I want to be pushing these things to their absolute limit. I'm gonna say if you can see around 1,000 here, expect at least a 20% gain on the points. So 8 is looking like the largest. I could see I'm missing out on 2 tree spawns. And that's bad because I want to blossom up here to earn a lot of points. This is 9, so we're missing out on 1 tree spawn. It's the tree directly beside this one, so I could spawn all 10 by going down here. It puts blooming trees in bad spots, but like, does that really matter? Could also do this to score all 10. It does hit an extra flower, so it's worth less, but it keeps my trees more congregated. And it looks like it's saving me enough space. I'm gonna place this and I'm gonna try seeing if I can get more trees in this area, because this looks like I'm making a pretty dense area of trees. The denser I can pack that area, the better. I am gonna have to place over top of this set of flowers, or maybe I can get away with over here? No, no. Okay, so I could get away with this, maybe? Hitting only 2 flowers? 2 blooming trees. Let's see how many trees I can stack up in the center now. So that's 4 trees, but it's not like, it's not where I want them to be. Yeah, I don't want to spawn more like this. Oh, because the tombstone is blocking them. Okay. So we're missing out on spawning 3 trees if I do this. I think I'm gonna redo that last verdure. See what else I can get. I think I was looking, yeah, I was getting a 10 around here. If I rotate it in a different direction, is there any way to get it? This is 9. There's 10. This feels like I'm pulling out the blooming trees more, but it could do something better. Okay, so if I'm pulling the blooming trees out more, I'd want to stack more trees in this area, but it's really hard to get those off without losing a bunch of points. Let's undo this guy. I think I'm going to go with my original position. Rotated like this, I think it was 8 points, then I shimmied it around until I found 10. However that works out. We'll go with that. Okay. And then I'll take, I think, hold on, let me see what other spot would be good for a verdure. I'd like to get a bunch of trees up here. This does not seem like the set of trees for it because I've got, what is it? 5 on one side, 3 on the other. They're like opposite of each other. I can get 5 up here, but then I'm ditching 3 trees beneath me, which I don't want to do. Can I get 5 trees up here like this without hitting that blooming tree up top? I think that's a good enough set of trees. I'm missing out on 1 blooming tree, so then I'm missing out on I'm missing out on 1 blooming tree, no regular trees by placing this. But if I place it here, then I'm going to be getting rid of the verdure spot over here that could have been played to get more trees towards the center. Or is there any other verdure spot around here that can do the same? Oh, I can place one like on top of this guy. Oh, I think I like that then. Okay, yeah, this will be a congregation of trees. Right, so we're getting 11 here. We're not spawning 1 blooming tree, which means that I'm missing out on... Okay, this is spawning the majority of them. This is spawning all of them. I think I'll take it. This is... What is it? I drew 3 verdures at the beginning, and then I drew... Did I draw 3 verdures now? Because then that's all 6 of my verdures that I have. Is this the verdure that I want to place then? Okay, so it's either 15 points over here, or I get a lesser amount of points over here, but then my trees are more dense, so I can place better lumberjacks and parks and blossoms and stuff. Also, is this like a swinging welcome sign or something? What is this sound effect? It's not even music. Alright, Alright, so I'm seeing 8. I think before I found like a 10 if I ran over top of this one flower here, but I'm not going to try for it. I'm going to take this full 15. Just wanting more greenery overall feels good. Now I would like the 5 trees to be congregated high instead of low, so they're closer to, what is it? The center, because that's where I'm playing the majority of my other buildings, or the majority of my other parks, my green areas. So these 4 trees being up here instead of back here is better for me. Look at that, we're already at 12 points, baby. Okay, sand pits. I'm assuming, because I'm going to be building residential down here, that I'll want to put a plateau or 2. If I'm putting a plateau or 2, I'll want to put them beside masons. Masons will want to be beside brickyards. I can place a brickyard here. So the sand pits will go down on this side first, instead of that area of sand. I should be placing a sand pit on this side. I could be placing one on this side facing out, but if I do that, then I might not, like, I might want to take up this space of the plateau instead. Yeah, I'll start building from this side specifically. Move forward from there. So here 1, and here 2. I don't need to place the second one though, so we'll undo that for now. Can't take a city pack yet, that's gonna destroy our draw. We've now got a seaweed farm, we've got another 2 sand pits and brickyards. It seems like we're gonna play all of these buildings to be able to get to the next round, and that's fine. That's to be expected, honestly. Had I taken the seaweed farm pack 1 round earlier, I think it would have been better. If I play this one first, let me play this guy first, and then I'll play one in front of him. So this is going to get rid of where I wanted to put the plateaus back here. Is that going to matter? Could I put like a set of sand pits back here, and then a set up front here? Maybe, but it'll be close. Yeah, they'll have to be looking outwards a little bit, but that still saves them enough points. Or I could do this. This gets to be a bit far away from, what is it, brickyards detecting all of them, though. A few of them will detect all of them, though. Can this guy squeak over far enough to detect all of them? No, he can't. So close, man. Okay. So I'll want to place a sand pit for its maximum amount of points for right now. Wait, this guy's going to be able to be in range of the... I don't need to really worry about the sand pits. I'm going to grab like 2 more, and they just go in these corners, and they're always going to be detecting the brickyards that I placed down here. I think I do like this guy taking up this space, even if he isn't getting all of the points that he could be from this brickyard. Take a lumber pack, because that's going to gain us a lot of points. Let's just show how many points that's getting. So this is why we take a long time to play verdures in the early game. We're on an island that is going to be giving us less trees than normal, because we're getting blooming trees instead of all, unbloomed ones. It's like a loss of, I think it's like 4 trees per verdure. And we're still hitting 40-point lumberjacks. That's pretty nice. We also got a boon. That's really early, honestly. And they give you a score multiplier for free. That's so nice of them. And a blossom early? Don't mind if I do. Okay, so something that I don't think they're ever going to patch out as an exploit. If you play a blossom, you'll get an amount of points. If you get an amount of points that gets you to the next building pack, it'll get you the building pack, right? Now I'm going to undo that blossom. And I get to keep that building pack. Interesting. Now, they have noted this down as an exploit and not as a feature, like how the Guildhall inverter, that's been like confirmed as, no, that's fine to be in the game by the devs. So I don't want to use this. Before I open up this building pack, I'm going to get these 51 points. How, let's look for good spots for our seaweed farms. I'm seeing a lot of really good areas out here. If I was playing with some sustainables, I'd play like 4 around this guy and then just play seaweed fields encircling it, but that's not the case right now. So I'm going to play one of these seaweed farms pointing towards one of these, what is it? Like, I don't know how to say this, spires. One of these other small islands, and then so that I don't get these guys in range of the guy that's pointing in this direction, I'm going to play them so that they're facing slightly outward, almost in like a T shape. So like then this one would go down here, and this one would go down here, and then any seaweed farms that I place are going to hit this guy on this spire and its net, and they're going to hit these 2 seaweed farms without any of the seaweed farms that I've placed being in range of each other. So I'm going to start by playing one here. I'm also going to make sure that it's high enough that I can play a seaweed field underneath. Then we're going to play 2 seaweed farms around it. So this guy can get really close. That's great. We'll just need to check that the other guy can stay really close. This guy can get close, and that's great. But these guys might be touching each other. So that's going to be something I have to consider. I would like to play this as far out as I can then. That feels good enough to me. I would like to make sure that a seaweed field can go underneath it. It can't, so I'm going to have to play this guy a bit higher. So that feels good. However, the next seaweed farm that I place might be in range of this guy, and that does scare me. We'll get to it when we get to it, though. How am I going to get enough points to get to the next round? So I could be playing 2 seaweed fields here, but for the aforementioned reasons, I want to wait for this seaweed farm to go down. I could start playing them all the way out here, which is fine, but it's not great. Ooh, I could also see myself placing down 2 seaweed farms here in the future, and it'll pick up these guys for points. Yeah, that's fine. I can play these guys down. Let's get this guy just barely in range then, taking up as little space that would like offer these guys double points as it can. And then are you in range? No? You are pretty nice and flush to here. If I move you up just a bit, you can get 16. Do you get snapped down? I don't think so. I'm going to undo this building, and hold on. Let me try getting this guy like exactly where I think the seaweed field would be, and then I press Z to undo the building, and then I press 3 to, oh, no, not 3, 4 to pick up my proper building. And now I move it slightly up from here. And we try again. With this guy hitting all the buildings. Okay, so this isn't in range, but we're going to move it up slightly. Then it's going to snap down to be on this grid, and we've gotten 2 16-point seaweed farms. Now, I have enough points to get to the next building pack, so I'm going to add that building pack. We're going to add a brewing pack instead. Now, I would love to place these beside the right, and I made a mistake, didn't I? This was the residential area, and this was the farm area. So these guys, these sand pits needed to be on the other side so that my brickyards and my masons could be over here. Well, we'll play on. Alright, let's just start playing down some hop fields. I want them to be far out of the way, but this looks like a really nice spot for a brewery, so I'm not going to play hop fields up there yet. Actually, let me see if a brewery fits up there. Oh, just barely. Yeah, okay, so that is the place for a brewery. We'll play another hop field. And actually, something that I should be doing, because if you get a wisp early on, it can be really, really powerful. I should go into my boons. I should... Right, I can't undo my blossom. So how much is my blossom worth? It was like 62 over here. If I score malt my fortune teller, that isn't worth the same. What I would like to do with this blossom is boons. I don't know what I want to call it, like boon sleuth? Boon douse? What you do is you try to get enough points to get to the next boon. 1 building off. Okay, let me go back and undo that blossom. I need to place this hop field first. And I can't open up this building pack until I get enough points, just like last time. Okay, so I need to play a blossom here for 66 points. Perfect. And now you're going to get enough points to hit this next boon. And then when you press undo... hold on, I need to go back to this screen and then press undo. Okay, then you still keep that boon pack, just like the building pack. But this happens on any building, not just Blossom. So this is like also kosher with the devs. So I'm going to add this boon pack to see what I get. Replace. This is the exact boon that we want to see in Fortune Teller because it just adds buildings to our building bar. Great. It's not going to be useful now. It's only adding 3 extra buildings on top of what we already have. This is going to be used at the end. So any building that we can keep a large quantity of that isn't going to score well, I'm thinking if I don't grab a lot of city centers, huts will be one of them. If I don't grab, like too many wall platforms or like good spots for residences, houses will be another option. With Blossom, my parks are going to be good. So parks are definitely going to go down. Houses always go down. They'll always have enough like shamans or city centers or something beside them. Maybe cliff houses is another option to replace, especially with a boon that gives me an extra 6 cliff houses, which just means that it's giving me 9 random buildings with replace. Right, I can't add this building pack yet. So how do I get to the next round? I could play some seaweed farms and this brewery and a brickyard, or I can just play like 1 lumberjack and almost get there. So Playing lumberjacks. Do you want to play them early? I mean, they're gonna detract points from your hermitage, from your parks, from your whatever. You need to play at least like 1 or 2 to get them out, and they only detract 4 points in the future. It's not that bad. For such a big early game like boon, it's worth it to play these guys. I would like him to score 40 points. I want to see if, like, okay. So then if I'm playing parks in the future, there's like 3 or 4 trees around this guy, which isn't too much compared to like the 7 or 8 that would be around this guy if I were to play it here, or the like 6 or 7 that would be around this guy. So playing them here in this like pretty central location will allow parks that are played like on this side of these trees to not detract any points from being beside these lumberjacks. So it's not as bad as it could be. Let's get another one down. And now we can very safely add that building pack. We're going to do masons before the city pack. And now, ooh, we did have one more verdure left in the pack. That's my bad. Okay. So, masons. These guys can either go down over here, where we're going to be playing all of our city centers, our temples, our whatever for buildings, or they can go down beside the brickyards that I have for 4 points and help scale the brickyards in the future. I don't think it's worth it to keep building on this side when I've now shoehorned myself into building my residential area into this pit. What I could also do instead is build, residential on this side. Now, it isn't as, like, enclosed of an area. How many buildings do I think I'm going to be able to go through before I start shipping it on my fortune tellers? And are these extra 4 points from the masons really worth it? Yeah, actually. Okay, so looking at this, I've got like maybe a few spots for houses or things like that, and I can get like 1 or 2 wall platforms down above it, and then 1 over top of it. Like there's, what is it? Layer 1 to build on here, layer 2 to build on around all of the walls, and then 1 layer 3. Or I can play on this wall for 1 layer 2, layer 1 as the base buildings right here. Maybe just layer 1 down here. Layer 2 with a wall platform basically extending this area outwards. Layer 3 up top, and then a layer 4 up here with 2 sets of wall platforms that can be in range quite easily. I can place a terrace to reclaim some of this space, and maybe even a wall platform shooting off of here or sideways off of here to reclaim some of the space. So I'm fine with this being the residential area now. So then that means that my masons can go down here pretty safely. I'd like to put them on the next rung down so that all of this space can be attributed to buildings. Okay, so we start there. I could place a brickyard if I wanted to. Verdure is free. I should be playing these verdures first. Now, am I going to play it beside the lumberjacks that I had before with the spot that, like, kind of works out to add more trees? Okay, it's working out more than I expected. It's taking a large negative hit, but it is spawning a lot of trees, which is, like, the only thing that I care about. Now, I could also look over here. I think there was an option of spawning on top of this set that I did in the beginning. But it's not all that good. Okay, what about over here, spawning on top of this set that I've already made? It's going to be 4 blooming trees if I want to get it. Doesn't seem nice, doesn't seem likely. What about over here? So I could make this area down here more dense and only hit 1 tree. But it is beside the precious metal mine, and that's taking up a lot of space that, like, my buildings would want to take up. So it feels like up here is fine. Now, I could put down a verdure for fish instead. I've got a blossom, I've got lumberjacks, I'm getting parks. And with how many parks that you get, mountain shrines, hermitages, the trees are much more worth it if you can spawn them in high quantities. It's hard to find high quantity spawns here, especially it being a Halloween biome. I'm inclined to just place something down here, but it's not enough trees for me to like it. It is just like one of the only positive point positions that I've seen so far. I could also play down onto this platform here, which is fine, but it's not going to be in range of the blossom. Let me see what the range of the blossom is like. So this blossom is going to hit these 60. Hold on. There's like a 64 in here somewhere. 66? Can I get a 68? So if I move any further off to the left, it doesn't matter. If I move further down, I lose some trees. If I move off to the right, I get 66. And I can't lose that one tree, so I go up until I lose a tree. So it is just 66 right here. I've got a little bit of wiggle room around any of the sides. If it weren't for the 3 flowers here, this seems like the most prime position. Otherwise, I do think just stacking a few more trees in front of these guys instead of behind these guys is best. If I can find a spot that does that, then sure. But I don't. It's not looking like it, actually. I could also put down trees directly in center, but that's so many negative points that it feels bad to place. Like, it's not going to be worth it. I guess I could do the math against blossoms and things like that in the parks that I'm going to be playing in the hermitages to be able to, like, rationalize this choice. But for right now, I don't want to do it. Because I need points to get to the next building. This verdure will go down, and I should not place any, lumberjacks or parks or play my blossom until this verdure does go down. So we can play a brickyard and a hop field to get to the next round, I think. 19 points plus... This is 13. That is enough. Okay, let's do it. This is good. It'll get more of our brickyards next to our masons. Ooh, I think I like this one better, actually. Then I'll know exactly the range that I need to be able to get, like a brickyard here outside of this brickyard's range, but still in range of the majority of the masons. We're going to take a lighthouse as we don't want to ruin our draw with city buildings yet, and now we can go off into the races with our seaweed farms. Right? Surely. Surely there's a spot that's out of range over here. There's gotta be. If there isn't, then I'll just play this one over here and count that as a loss, maybe wait for a sustainable and then play one here, and then I only play triples once I get like this guy in range. But I'll wiggle this guy around a bit longer to see if I can get 10. There it is. Okay, can I rotate it this way and get 10? No, not even close. Okay, so this feels a little bit far away from the other guys, and if I move him all the way down here, then he's taking up physical space from the seaweed farms, but I'm gonna go with my original plan. So now that you can like see all 3 of the buildings, it kind of looks like a T. You place the base of the T first, and then you build out the branches. And now seaweed fields that go down in the middle, or I guess this would be the middle, are going to gain 25 points. And I've got quite a few 25 pointers ahead of me. Now, I don't want to build starting on this side because then the grids might not line up, so I will want to start down here. But if I start down here, then I'm going to be playing, like this 2x1 in a space that isn't, in the middle. I want to place the small guys where they're taking up, the most triples, or how, like, the small guys should be in spaces that are being hit by all of them because they're taking up less physical space that is good space. The bigger guys can be further to the outside. Is this going to be worth 25 points? If I move it up slightly, is it going to snap down into position? If this snaps down, I'm fine with playing it. Otherwise, I'm not going to. It does snap down? Yeah, that looks pretty snapped to me. Okay, sure. Good enough, good enough. Is this going to snap? Definitely not. It's definitely not going to snap down. This is going to snap into place. It does leave this as not... it's only going to be a double in the future, but it's fine. It's fine. Alright, this is that double. Alright, and we do have another boon. We didn't boon Sleuth for this guy, which is fine. I don't think there's going to be any boon that would have changed my opinion on things. If I could have gotten a Wisp before all of these bounces, then I would have considered it, because then I could have bounced it off onto a brewery, then from that brewery onto Hops Fields, and then maybe somewhere new in the future. Just because an extra 5 points on all the buildings that you play in round 1 is so good. We'll take a farming pack because it's not city pack. That's literally the only reason. And then we're going to check out what this boon is. Neighborly or demolish. So demolish doesn't really have any use for me. What I could do is demolish a temple and play a second one in its space. Do I think I'm going to get to a second temple? I think I'm going to take a neighborly before I take a demolish, though, because neighborly is better early game points, and I should be looking for more early game points on both early game boons, and because this is me playing a fortune teller specific round, or fortune teller specific challenge. We'll take a score multiplier and play our fortune teller, because it's going to be worth the most points, and that is not enough to get to the next, boon, so it doesn't matter. We need to play maybe another 40 points worth before that happens. Hop Field is a nice, easy building to do that with. And as for wheat fields, I need to make sure that every single one of these guys is connected to each other throughout the game. So I need enough space beside these guys for about, let's say, 20 wheat fields to be played. Now, if I put them beside the guild hall inverter, they're going to be worth, like, they don't take up much physical space. So that is one option, but I would need to place 2 green wall platforms beside each other, or get them exactly in line with this, to be able to play all of them. They're not beside a statue. It's something to consider, but future me problem. Let's see where the sandpit is worth the most. I would like to congregate it beside these guys here, because then it's getting points off both brickyards and going to be in range of a warehouse. But this seems like the best option for now. And there is no way that I can hit both the brickyard over there and not the sandpit, right? There is. It's worth 15 points. It does take up more physical space. This is worth 12, takes up less. I don't think I really need to be constrained on my space down here on the beach, so I'm going to take the 15-point guy. That's wild. Okay. We can continue placing our seaweed fields, too. Hold on, do I even want to play that sandpit with that amount of points? I'm going to undo it for now. I might have a reason to play him later, but for right now, he is only worth 15 points. Maybe he'll scale off of other buildings. Yeah, he's going to scale other brickyards in the future, but, like, do I want to play those brickyards? Interesting. I don't think I'm going to be playing the sandpits. Not yet. Not when I've got these kinds of seaweed fields to be playing. This maybe gets in range of both of them if it's a 2x1, probably just in range of the top one, but even if it's getting doubles instead of triples, it's worth it to play a small guy in that position instead. This is not getting triples. This is, and like just barely. I'm fine with playing this, even if it's a big guy. So what I said before, I want to take up, as much like space in the middle with 2x1s, but if I can get this guy to score doubles instead of whatever it was before, then I'll take it. However, this gets me the next building pack, and I like that. We'll see how far out this can be played at max. And it is looking like it has to be played like this, so then I'll just rotate it instead and keep it snapped to the same grid. Now knowing that I get a and that this guy can't fit in here, and that I do need a 2x1 to fill up this slot, or maybe a 3x1, I'm going to play this 2x1 on this side instead, so that I prime this position right here for the triangle piece. Okay, let's add a new building pack. Cliff house or city pack, so cliff houses are going to be worth less than city packs overall, and city centers are a pretty point dense building, as long as they're played beside masons. Yeah, and I don't have very many masons. Now let's see what that next boon is. So we go to our score multiplier, we grab our fortune teller, we play it for 110 points. That's going to give us enough to see this boon. Alright, we can now undo that and see what our boon is. It's either add cliff house or precious. So precious turns up like a pyre or a fish kite late game from 100 points into like 400. So it's earning me 300 points, or I take cliff house, which is going to give me 9 buildings because I'm probably going to be replacing the cliff houses. I might get a second replace by the end of the game. It depends on how many boons I get. I think if it's giving me 6 here, and it gives me another like 6 and then 5, and like how the temple trouble runs go, I'm gonna have 2 of every boon. Sorry, not 2 of every boon. I'm gonna be able to choose 2 of the boons that I want, maybe 3 on some of them if I get lucky, but it's not like a guaranteed chance. So if I have 2 replaces, it's replacing cliff houses, and it's probably replacing mansions, which is weird. It's weird to replace mansions. I still think it's like the most viable though. Nine extra buildings. That's an extra 27 points score multiplied. Okay, so the 6 cliff house buildings that I'm getting here, this is basically 1.5 building packs for me. This precious. Do I think I'm going to be, with 300 points, getting more than 1.5 building packs? No. I think by the time I'm playing my last fortune teller, I'm going to be at building packs that are worth the number over here is going to be like around 300 when I'm playing my fortune teller, or my last fortune teller, I should say, not my first one. And that guy is going to be, if it's like 300 points to get to the next building pack, this precious is only earning me 6 buildings. It's earning me less then the 6 cliff houses turned into 9 random buildings with replace. So I take add cliff house for now. That does also mean that I could, sleuth further ahead with my score malt and fortune teller for the time being. Not far enough yet, but now I said I didn't want to play a 15-point sandpit. I think I am going to play the hop field because the breweries in the future are going to be worth it. Because the breweries right now are currently 33. They're scaling 5 off of each hop field. I feel like 33-point buildings are going to be like my tipping point. Granted, these 33-point buildings don't scale off of like a guild hall or anything, but it is also just an easy placement that's like I don't have to think about. Before I play these masons, it would have been really nice to have a wisp on these guys as well, because then I can bounce the wisp onto the city center, then around all the houses down here. But my main goal is to try to get to wall platforms before I play any of these houses. At the very least, I need plateaus. Now, if I'm playing plateaus, I want them to be beside the masons. I know that I can sneak them underneath these walls somehow, as long as I keep them open. So I'm going to fill this side up with masons. They'll eventually pay themselves through both temple placements, guild hall placements, and plateau placements. Even if they're 13 now, they're going to be worth like 40 over their lifetime at minimum. Okay, wheat fields I'm still not playing. Lumberjacks, I would want to play my verdure first. Let's play more seaweed fields, because 28 points feels good. That doesn't work yet, so it is truly, that's the only position that it works in. What about this guy? Can he hit 28 points? He can hit 28 points over here. Does that block out too much? Ooh, I could do this instead, and it'll probably snap down. Okay, let's play that a bit nicer. Like there, and then it snaps. It does not snap into the grid. Okay, that's gonna get undone. There we go. Now it snapped. Okay. And then I think I can still fit another large seaweed field in here. No, maybe a small one reaches both, but making more compact seaweed fields is fine. Now, shamans are a very easy pick. Oh, and we get 2 of them. Because, like, right here, they're worth 11. They're out in the open. That kind of sucks. If you put them on the sides and block more rays, then they'll be worth it, right? What happens if I blossom this area and then play all the shamans? Well, let's give it a try. I'm going to undo this blossom, I believe. Yeah, I'm definitely going to undo it because I've still got one more verdure to play. But just to give you guys an idea, yep. Okay. Now it feels like the time to play a verdure, but I might be able to get to this boon first, actually. So let's go to our score multiplier, fortune teller, and that is more than enough to get to the next boon, actually. These 6 cliff houses are helping out a lot. A lot. All right, what's our next boon? Sealed boon or a precious? So we've been over that a precious is maybe going to earn us another 6 buildings. I want to take the gamble. I'm a gambling man. The sealed boon could be a level up. It could be a duplicate. It could be a score malt. It could be a precious, even. And it's 15 points in my pocket on top of whatever it is. Because, like, precious isn't exactly a boon that I want. Granted, this is, like, if this gives me a sustainable or... No, an add wall platform is fine. I mean, there's a lot of things that are just fine, not great, because it's adding 1 building, which helps scale the fortune teller. So I'll take it. That's massive. That is so good. Okay, so rerolls are going to give me the exact boons that I want. Rerolls are in very low supply on these, and they're hard to get at the very beginning because you need to luck into them either through a sealed boon like this, or you need to see it in the boon pack itself. So grabbing this reroll is great. We could also do this to manipulate, like the draw order, but because we've already taken City Pack, our draw order's destroyed. It doesn't matter. Rerolling for boons is always going to be more powerful. Now, I would like to check that a score multiplier, I don't think I've added any buildings yet, so we're close, but not there yet. I am going to play a verdure, I'm going to play a blossom, and then I'm going to I'm going to get close to a level up from that. I'm seeing -11 right here. This is spawning 5 trees. If I can spawn 6 or 7 trees here, I'll be happy. This is spawning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can I get that last tree in the bottom right? I can. Hold on, is this not spawning one of the trees off on the right-hand side now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is 8 trees out of a total 9, I believe. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, this is spawning 14 points worth out of a possible 15 if I weren't taking any negatives, so this is good. And we are congregating a lot of trees in one area again, which is always good to do. Now we go to our boons, we go to our blossom. We could look for an advergere before we do this blossom here to get even more trees in, but it's going to be hard to pack any more trees in here. I think there's going to be other boons that are more worthwhile to us. Now I need to move this up a little bit further to get all of the trees that I just spawned, so it's going to be a new placement for me. I would like to get these 2 trees on the bottom end, but it gets rid of 2 more trees up top. And if I keep pushing it further up, is there a way that I can get 72 perhaps? No? This might do it for 72? Okay, this does it. It's getting all of the trees that I need on the right-hand side as well. I don't think there's a way that I can get 74, right? No. Okay. So it's either 72 like this, or I think this is also another 72 that I could have gotten. I think I'm going to be playing less around this tree and more around this tree, because this tree has space to be played on the other side as well. So we're going to take the high 72 pointer. This one. Just going to double check to make sure that there isn't a better spot to be playing this in. Yeah, it just starts losing more points as you go up higher. Now I could play this for 72 here, but again, that's spawning more of these trees as blossomed ones. I want to have ones in the center be blossomed. Alright, there's the 72. Yeah, this is the 72 that I want. Okay, we are now safe to play our lumberjacks if we're fine with them detracting points from our parks, which I don't really want to be. We are fine to play our shamans because there's nothing else that is going to go up here that is better. We can play them in such a way that I can put fortune teller or like my last fortune teller beside it, because my last fortune teller will scale 4 points off of shamans. Then I can put some pyres up here and have like a fortune teller that gets slapped down here in range of like 2, maybe 3 shamans, and then all of my pyres. Now I would like it to be worth more than 50, especially if the ones in the middle are worth 60. I want to see if there's anything else around the corners that's going to be worth more. It's not looking like it. Oh, before we do that, the blossom probably gave us enough to score multiply this fortune teller. No, it didn't. We're very close. After one more shaman placement, that fortune teller is going to give us enough to douse the next boon. Douse? Is it a dowsing rod or a dowsing rod? I think it's dowsing. Okay, so I do just want to place a bunch of shamans in the center, it looks like. I know that that's also where I'm going to want to play, like, hermitages and things then, but shamans take up such small amounts of space that they're, like, really non-committal. I don't know about placing this right beside the lumberjack, though, because then it gets rid of this as a shaman spot, and these are, like, all right. They're not great, but they're not bad either. I would like to play one shaman out here. I'm going to be playing higher point ones later. And then I would like to play another shaman over here for like 49 points. Maybe I can get 240. Yeah, I can get one for 53, I believe. One for 53, and then another one for 41 in the future. And then I can play 2 in the center here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'll be able to find a spot for a 6th shaman elsewhere. Oh, maybe I should be playing these shamans beside my cliff houses. Guys, I'm not playing my cliff houses. That's not happening. Unless... Cliff houses do scale fortune tellers by 1, so I'm only losing 2 points on my fortune teller by playing a cliff house down, which is still a loss of 2 points per building, but we'll go over that in the future. I don't want to be playing around my cliff houses. I'm going to replace them, then maybe after that replacement I'll get a few, and they might be worth it. Okay, right, it is... I can lock in that shaman placement. I can just add the next building pack, whatever isn't cliff houses, because I don't care to draw them yet. Actually, do I? Because then I can get more buildings of the other types with replace. It does water down the rest of my draw, but I feel like with 2 city centers and the second shaman that I have here that I can play for like 60 points, it's worth it. And I've also got my lumberjack primed and ready to go because I'm no longer playing any more bergers in this area. Okay, well, we'll do that in a second. Let me score multiply this fortune teller. We can get an extra 4 points on it by putting it beside this shaman now. And in regular games, you never want to douse the last boon because this is going to lock your draw into being 5. As soon as you get this, and yippee, you're now done the island. You'll say, oh yeah, do you want to travel to the next island? Your current draw is 5. And when you undo this, it keeps your current draw as 5, and that's not good. Level up or bargain. So bargain gets us another fortune teller, but level, okay. My fortune teller currently is worth, what is it? 102, 160 with a score mult. So if I bargain it and I find another score mult, I will be finding another score mult. Bargain is worth 160 right now. If I were to take a level up, that is going to be worth 90 points at minimum right now, and it's going to allow me a guild hall inverter, so it's going to be worth more points overall. This level up is better than this bargain, even though I do want both of them at some point. So I'm going to take the level up. Next, I can play down a lumberjack in the center and then a shaman afterwards. Okay, I don't want to get rid of any of the trees. Is it better to be played on like this side? That's a loss of 8 points, I think. I don't want it to get it close to this pocket of trees. I want to have parks over here be like safe from it. So I think that this 29 pointer is fine. Yeah, I'll play it here. And then I can play a shaman up here for 81 points. 83 points. Okay, sure. Anything else I want to do before locking that position? Do I need to move that shaman? No. This one is definitely going to be out of range of this guy. I don't need to be worried about these shamans being in range of him. It might be stopping like a good hermitage or like a terrace placement, but I'll play around it. Now, do I want fishers or do I want cliff house packs? Fishers, I don't think are ever going to be worth more than 40, and cliff houses are going to earn me more draw. I think I take cliff houses, as odd as that is. Because the more cliff houses that I have here, the more that my replace is going to be worth it. I'm not going to have much building draw, though. Or not, like, building draw that isn't residential buildings. So now I need to do a score multiplier, and I can douse for my next boon. We play it here, so it's in range of both shamans, so that I get more points. We're seeing this guy track up, and now it tracks so much slower than it did before. Or at least it's feeling like it. Maybe it's the same rate. It's probably the same rate, and I'm probably just making that up. Yep, okay, there's one boon. I don't think we're making it to the second one. Let's see what this guy is. An add verdure or a duplicate. So a verdure is 2 buildings. That's an extra 6 points per fortune teller. Or I can take a duplicate to get an extra fortune teller that's probably, like, I saw what the other records were at. They were at, like, 1,000. Even if my, like, buildings at the end of the game, or, like, the amount of points that I need to get to the next pack are, like, 300 or 400, that 1,000 point fortune teller is getting me 12 buildings compared to 2. I've already used my blossom, so I'm not going to be able to add any more trees to this area to help scale my parks in those buildings any better, so the add verdure is not worth it. We should just take a duplicate here, and I'm fine to not use any of my rerolls to, like, skip past these ones. Duplicates and bargains are good enough for me. What's next? We've got fountains, which I can't play yet. We've got city centers, which I could play, and I can use a neighborly to play one beside the other ones so that they're not going to take a negative. I would like to play them down here so that they don't take up space above, but I want to see plateaus before I get these city centers down so that I can play, like, around those sizes. So the only other buildings that I have to play are something like a brewery, and this is only going to lose 1 point per building that gets, like, or, like, yeah, it's only a loss of 1 point per, like, hop field that I get in the future. So I can use this to get to the next round. It's good enough with me. Could also play seaweed fields, but I don't think any of them are worth 33 anymore. Pyres. Pyres are definitely something that we want. We do want them to be seeing city centers, but if they don't, they are just worth a building that's like worth double if I play it beside the fortune teller. Ooh, but I do need scoring buildings soon. So lighthouses are one of those options. Now let's talk about what is it, scoring in regards to the fortune teller a little bit more like concretely now that we've like made some progress in the game. So we're at 95 points right now. What we need to think about is this number divided by 6, because that's our building draw for forever, because this is a challenge, it does never drop down. 95 divided by 6 is like around 15, I think. Yeah, 15. So I need to be playing buildings that are worth at least 15 points to be able to make this fortune teller worth it. Now, let's look at this seaweed field right here. Is this guy worth it to play? Well, he's at 13 points, so you might say no. But if I were to grab a seaweed farm and play it over here and have it in range of that seaweed field, and play this lighthouse and have it in range of that seaweed field, and have one more fisher in range of a seaweed field, this lighthouse that goes down, plus 1 point. This seaweed farm that goes down, plus 4 points. That fisher that goes down, plus 1 point. That means that this seaweed field is actually scoring 19, and that is a worthwhile building. That is how you do calculations for when do you play a building and not in the late game of Fortune Teller. Yes, it is a lot more math. Yes, you do have to remember like what buildings can score off of what. But when you're doing like setup for your guild hall inverter, say you're playing like a 30-point house. Well, if you point invert it twice, that house is worth an extra 32 points. That's actually a 66-point house. Oh, is 66 points worth it for me to play? If you've got a score loop that's less than 360, yes. Yes, it is. All right, where was I? We need to play buildings that are not going to be the city centers or any of our residential ones, meaning pyres don't go down and fountains don't go down yet. That does mean that we could put down something like a sand pit, our seaweed farms, our wheat fields, but I don't like that. I don't like placing down wheat. I know that they're going to scale to be better eventually, but I want to wait until I can get them on a wall platform over here. So they can be condensed buildings near the guild hall. I could put down a sand pit for 15 points, but I need a full 95 to get to the next round. How am I getting 95 points? I might have messed up myself with the cliff house here. I think like one more pack I open and I'm gonna see plateaus. Let me go to my boons and see if there's anything that can get me out of this hole. Don't want to use replace yet. Neighborly is only good on city centers. We've got level up to progress, and we've got score multiplier, which we only want to use on fortune tellers or buildings that are bigger than the fortune teller somehow. We could play a lighthouse for 50 points. This is playing it before our harbors and our docks, which are also going to like make this lighthouse worth less overall, and it's before 4 more of our seaweed fields, which could still be worthwhile in points. For right now they are, but I don't know how long that is going to last. This one is worth 19 points here. I can maybe hit it on one more farm pointing in this direction, but that's unlikely. Like, at best, this guy is worth 20 points by the end of the game. I don't know if that's it. If I play a wheat field down, is that going to be something I want to do? I don't think so. It's 2 points right now. It's like a menial amount of points right now. I need to wait for these wheat fields to stack up before I like even consider them. Same thing goes for the mill. They need to be beside like or down after all of the wheat fields. So these buildings are locked up. We've got 15 points here. We've got 41 points here. That gets us to 15, 20, 40. That gets us up to 60. We need 35 points. I could play 2 seaweed fields to finish that off. That's enough. It's not a good set of buildings, but it is a set of buildings that gets us out of this hole. We're gonna play the seaweed fields before the lighthouse goes down. I don't like playing you for 13. I would like to play you, yes, for 19 instead. Can I do that again with one on the outside? No, I cannot. Can I place the seaweed field in such a way that I can get 2 buildings in that range? You don't get into range, do you? You do not either. Can I play you down here and then 1 here on this side to get it in range of 2? Yes, but then it's not in range of seaweed fields, and I don't want that. If this guy was able to be played higher, I could play 1 in here, maybe even 1 in here to get triples. Alright, 19 points is good enough. It's not great, but it's good. And then after that, we play down a lighthouse. Now, the lighthouse should be out of range of the shamans. All the shamans are planned to go up there. And it should be in range of where docks and harbors want to go. And then the next lighthouse should be in range of all of the docks and harbors without being in range of the lighthouse. So this lighthouse feels all right to me. Harbors and docks could go over here. I haven't checked where all of my fish are, but like I think harbors and docks are actually going to be one of the buildings that scale my fortune teller better than others. So I don't need to be too concerned about them. 53 points or 50 points? We'll take 53 for now. Yeah. Alright, with those buildings placed, we can add the next building pack, and then we can score Malt Fortune Teller to Boondouse. Harbors or Fishers? Fishers are less buildings overall, harbors are just... There's 2, so they're going to add more to the pack. Do I want to see Fishers or Harbors first? I think I want to see Harbors, because they're going to help scale markets and warehouses and regular houses beside this water area. And this is, I'm only filling this area with houses. Sure, I'll take Harbors before anything else. We've got another brewery, which is a good source of points for now. Oh, I didn't leave enough space back here to let it hit all of the hop fields. Maybe I can place one down here and save myself. Then the only hop fields that I have space for are in the middle of these two, but that's all right. Sure. These breweries are also placed so far away that there's no tavern that can hit both them and all the houses at the same time, so taverns aren't going to be as good of a building. Although taverns do want to go beside the fortune teller, so it's not completely lost. So a harbor is 22 points currently. A dock is literally only 3 because there is no fish in this area. There are only fish on this side, and in pretty low amounts too. This might just be a remap of the a reskin of the desert map. Boon sleuthing, right? Not duplicate. Here's the score multiplier. So that took me about 50 points now. That's 100. Yeah, we're not going to get to the next boon. So I'll just see what this guy's deal is. Wall platform or reroll. So if I take a wall platform early, that means that I can start playing houses in range of this guy. It gets me 1 extra building. If I pass by the reroll, I'm probably going to be seeing it again. Do I want an early wall platform, or do I think there are better buildings out there for me? How much score is this going to grant me throughout the game? It's a free building. Not a... I guess I shouldn't call it a free building. There are other things that are like I could consider quote-unquote free buildings. Like a precious is like a free upgrade to a building. It's just going to be attached onto a building that's already going to be placed in a pretty central area. Pyres or fish kites. This I don't think is going to amount to 300 score over the course of the game, so I take rerolls because I don't want to reroll past the rerolls. It sucks that I'm not getting any boons that I could use right now. It sucks that I haven't found a wisp this early on. That's been a big hit to this score. I probably would have passed it around at least like 10 times by now. That would have finished me up on this building pack. Alright, what are the buildings that I play for points to get to the next round? City centers could be it. If I play 2 of them side by side, it'll work, but then that gets rid of a lot of vertical space right here, which I don't want to do. It also gets rid of this could be a pretty good plateau space, or this is... I'm actually probably going to fill up this, because like there's no space for me to play houses down here. They get down to be like a little bit too low. If I play city centers here, I'd want to make sure there's just enough space for a wall platform, but not too much space left behind. So that means that I'd have to wait on the city centers. Okay, let's say I do place the city centers down here. The fortune teller could go in range of cliff houses, houses, and mansions that are beside it. Beside 1, maybe 2 shamans, and then the pyres can be over here to be able to detect the city centers, or just somewhere close, you know? This is also in range of all of the lumberjacks, and it's not going to be in range of many of the fields, so that's a fine spot for a pyre. Okay, so a fortune teller placement could be up here. I think I'm going to ship my city centers and pray that I find plateaus as my next building, because then I'll get, 24 points off of these guys and then 20 points off the city centers with 1 plateau. Does it feel tenable to use 1 neighborly beside this city center? Where am I going to get a better neighborly in the future? I'm not getting 2 terraces. That isn't happening. I could use a neighborly on a second statue, but I haven't even seen 1 yet. It's unlikely I see 2. It's unlikely that I see 2 because I'm not going to be using another duplicate, and I don't want to take 2 ad statues. So it feels like the neighborly is really only being used on the city center then, or maybe like a shaman late game where there's like 4 of them beside each other, but that's probably not going to happen either. Okay, I feel comfortable enough playing the city center. I think it is low enough that I can sneak a plateau underneath them. I'm going to hope. If it isn't, then hey, this is the perfect run. Not all runs can be, but I'm already providing like so much analysis to it that it's likely going to be a record for a while. Not forever, mind you, but I'm just like going over in my head, is this truly the city center that I want? It feels like there's enough space for wall platforms here. There's enough space for a plateau to go down underneath it to fill up this space. There's enough space around it in all directions for houses to always be hitting it, you know? Even if they're placed pretty far over here. I like it. I like it. Let's neighborly and use the other one. That is slightly off-center from it. I'll have to keep that in mind. I think I can maybe get that in a bit further. Let's go back and try that again. Neighborly. No, I think... Oh! Okay, I don't know if I like it going underneath, actually, because if it does, then I might not get the plateau spot off that I want. Let me see about, what is it, using the turn off snapping feature to get a building that fits down here. No. It goes down too far. If I can get it to be a little bit less deep, then I'll go for it. Too far? That seems good enough to me. And you actually were close enough to snap into position with this guy, because apparently that's not considered over the edge anymore. Well, that's great. Okay, I do want to see how much space is on this side. It looks like there's going to be 1 block of space. Oh, that's perfect. I mean, there's a bit of wiggle room, so it's not perfect, but it's great. It's a good placement. Let's see what our next building pack is. Fisher or park. Oh, finally. There's only 1 park, so it's going to be hard to get through this round, but it's going to be possible. Let's look around to see, like, just what we're going to be expecting for parks. Not as much as usual. If you play really good parks and blossoms, you can expect to get, like, 70, but that's only on places where your trees can be more densely packed because you spawned more trees. Seeing multiple spots for 40s, though, is still very good, and that there's going to be, like, a lot of space here for 40s. A lot of space here for 40s, too. Alright, this is good enough to have me starting out on this. Oh, I've forgotten. We don't need to be worried about snapping parks to destroy trees anymore. I can just hold down the hotkey to, stop that from happening. That is so nice. Okay, we'll start there. I should have also done this first, where it goes. Score multiplier, fortune teller here. To see what this guy is. That's 236 points. Would be 1/5 of the score wheel if it hits. I think it's going to be really close, but it will hit. Okay, yes. I want to see how much further it goes. That's a lot further than I expected. Okay, so 250 points is about like 1.5. It's probably like 175 points per boon. Maybe like 200 points per boon when there's 5 of them, so it's like 1,000 points to get around this wheel. Alright, demolish is sustainable. Sustainable at max is worth, like, if I place it on buildings that are hitting a large amount of negatives, It's like 50 points per building. I use it 3 times. It's 150 points. Not worth it. Demolish, maybe worth it if I like have temples, but I want to use some of my rerolls. This is a good thing to use a reroll on. Shrink building of Precious. Now I did pass up Precious in favor of a different boon earlier. I can't remember what it was, honestly. The Precious, it would ramp probably a 100 building up to a 300 building. I could only see myself placing around like 200 buildings total, maybe 250. So this is worth 250 points. With how many rerolls I have, I think I'm going to find better. So I'm going to reroll past it. I can maybe pick up a Precious the second time around. Now we're seeing Advergere again. Oh, right, I didn't pick it up, so it doesn't matter. We also don't care about increase area because none of our buildings really scale off of it. If I were to build a specific temple pit, maybe it scales a temple by 400 points, but then I need to place down so many buildings that, like, it just isn't worth it. Add terrace, no. I know that's adding building. Bargain is great. It's going to allow us to get another fortune teller that's worth, like, I'm assuming people are using score mult at the end, so it's like 600 points scaled up to like 900 or 1,000. So bargain is at least 600 points. That's a good enough boot for us to take. What is next? We've got to get another 60 points to get to the next round. And I still don't have my plateaus. Now, I could play a few mansions just to like pull forward in points, but I don't want to when there's the possibility of a plateau being down here that would help them score more. And when I could just play enough houses beside each other, they are worth, more points because there's more like buildings of their kind around them. But is there any way to sneak this guy like underground to be able to get it beside that city center? I don't think so. This guy doesn't rotate the other way, does it? No, I wanted to see if there's enough space for like one block to be taken up there. Alright. Cliff houses were one of the buildings that I wanted to replace, and there's a good reason for me to want to replace them. It's just that this 12-point building is eventually going to be worth... Hold on. Is it skill of plateaus? It doesn't know. Just shamans, which I don't have in this area, nor do I want them. Fountains, I don't want to play those until my buildings go down, so not yet. Mansions, I'm not playing either. Parks, I'm playing up top. So these cliff houses aren't going down here, but if they were to, beside the Guildhall Inverter, they'd be worth, if I get 2 level ups, which I'm assuming with how many rerolls I have. I'm assuming that I get more boons after just these 2 as well. If it's just these 2, then yeah, I'm only getting 1 level up. But this guy would then be worth like 40 points, and that's gonna last for quite some time, but I don't think yet. I don't think I want to play the cliff houses yet. There's got to be something else that I can play in the area that helps scale them to be worth more. Sawmills, they're worth 21 points. That doesn't feel like it's a good amount. I really don't want to play houses for 13. So if I were to play this again, I think I'd play it a bit differently. I would have taken Seaweed Farm 1 earlier. I wouldn't have taken Cliff Houses as early draw. I do need other buildings still to be able to get me the points to get to the future rounds. I guess I'm really close to exploding on points because of parks, and then maybe picking up like a mountain shrine or a hermitage or something. Do I place my pyres yet? I'm still going to be waiting on future city centers and lumberjacks, but it is 41 points. I'm going to be losing out on 9 points per city center that I wait, which is going to be a lot, and 5 points per lumberjack, which is also going to be a lot. Do I play other buildings to make this guy worth more in the future, or do I play this guy now so that I can start like holding on to these buildings because they're not worth anything? Let me just see what a seaweed field is worth. If it's okay, so we can still get a few 17s, probably 1, 2, maybe 3 more seaweed fields that are going to be worth 17, 18, and 19. That's just under 20 points per. That would be just under the amount necessary, and then I could play like 1 cliff house to make my way through there. Actually, let me see how this works. If I go over to boons and I check out to see how much replace is giving me, 16 times by 1.5, that's 8 for 24. I want to see how this rounds. If I play a cliff house, I'm going to undo this building, and I look at replace again, it is 23 buildings. 15 times by 1.5. Give me a second. Just punching it into a calculator. 22.5. It does round up, so I could play 1 cliff house and still be fine. Well, one cliff house right now. I'm gonna gain more. I want to have an odd number of cliff houses, is basically what I'm saying. If that's the case, cliff houses are going to scale any more residential buildings that get played down here in the future. The guild halls, the temples. I think they're worth it. I think they are. More than what the other buildings would be. I'd want to play them slightly higher so that there's enough space for a mansion to sneak underneath still. But not too high so that wall platforms get blocked by them. So I think this is a good middle ground right here. And actually, I can probably play it on like this inner ridge here. Like so. That looks maybe just a bit higher than the city centers, but not by much. So that's fine. Does that let a mansion underneath it? Oh yeah, and then some. Okay. I can play my 2 seaweed fields and 1 more cliff house. Man, but a wisp would go so hard on these cliff houses if I'm playing all of them, or just like multiple of them. Let's play a house out there for 19 points. I know that I'm going to get a few more masons in range here, so this isn't going to be like the perfect house. And there's going to be plateaus that are down here as well. I need something to give me the points. And this house plus the 2 seaweed farms is enough. I would like to test to see if this has enough space for... It doesn't look like there's going to be enough space for another block right there, so I need to move this house slightly to the right. Alright, and then I would want to make sure that this guy fits, and then... Is there a way that I can get... That looks like there's going to be a block of buildable space, or if I were to play it with, like, relocking, that guy could fit. I don't know, though. Playing this house here is risky. Playing it down here is maybe less risky. Might be closer to the city centers. Oh, no, because I'd want to squeak it down here, and then it is further away from the city centers. And also harder to move precisely. But I could get this down. I want to see if there's enough space for 3 building blocks here. There's enough space for 2 if I make this squish. Is there enough space for this mansion and then 1 other block to go down beside it? It looks like there's enough space, but that's only because the house is underneath and it's slightly slanted in. There's definitely not enough space for this building to go down. And then... Hold on. Yeah, this guy, if it can... How does this line up again? Oh, if it's played on top, then it has the space. But if I want to sneak it down like the one before, then it's a little bit more tricky. It doesn't move over as far. Not quite as far. Okay, but if I play it up here, it goes right beside the house. And then that would leave me enough space to play this guy in here. Well, this guy here. Okay, but if I'm playing something like this, then I can't play this house block up above it, which I want to. Let me play my seaweed field first, and then I'll come back. I'm going to lock in that house. I hope that it's in a good position. Probably isn't, but we'll face the problem when we get there. Run into it head on. Do I want the extra 2 points, or do I want to save a bit of space over here? I think I'm going to take the extra 2 points. I'm not going to be playing many more seaweed fields. And then there'd be a seaweed field that goes here that is like off-center from the other ones, but then I can place this guy over here nicely. Let's do... Oh, we don't have enough points from these 2 seaweed fields to get to the next round. Okay, let's play 1 more house. I would like to move this guy slightly over. Even if these guys are slightly off from each other, I want to make sure that the buildings on the right-hand side or the left-hand side are given enough space to be played here, like this. That feels like enough space. And this guy's blocking it anyways, so yeah, this is giving it more than enough leeway. I'm gonna leave it there. Let's add a building pack. Finally. Oh, and another city center? Okay, that's going to be a neighborly, and it goes down here, and I have 3 city centers beside each other. But first, a mason goes down, and then the neighborly city center, and then all of the plateaus. We would like this to be in range of both the brickyards, but I don't know if it can, and also be in range of the city centers. I think just playing it on this corner is fine, but then it starts encroaching on where the plateau goes. Let's see where the plateau can go. So yes, it can sneak underneath here as one placement. It can also sneak down here, so I could probably get 1, 2, 3 down here, which means that if I have a temple directly above these city centers, kind of sucks that I'm leaving so much like space on the table here, but if I were to put a temple directly above these guys, it will hopefully hit these plateaus all the way underneath it. I don't know if they extend more than just like a terrace length underneath them. And if I play this plateau here, then I'm losing out on the ability to play a terrace here that would maybe be close to the tops of these guys, which would also be another viable spot for a temple. So I don't know about playing a plateau here, even though it does look good. I think it's going to be a plateau down here. I'll find the spot board again. Yeah, here. Which, scanning for these guys, much easier when you're holding down C, but to actually lock them in place, don't hold down C. So I can play 1 down here. It's going to be an extra 10 plus 8 points. And then I can play 1 up here. It's not going to hit any of the masons, but it's going to be nice and congested. It's going to be worth 30 points. I can also make it flush with this guy to increase my buildable area, and then I can place 1 on this side for basically the same amount. Now I do need to make the decision of playing mason over on this side by other masons, or playing mason where all of my plateaus and some of my houses are going to go. Because I already know that this space here, what is it? If I play a terrace here, I do want it to be as close to the city centers as possible. So this isn't going to be a building that I can put down, this mason, as much as it would be nice to have in range of everything. Is there any other spot that I could put a mason down here? Not down here, not down here, maybe right beside these houses on this side? That feels fine to me. It's not the 5 points from hitting one of the brickyards over here, but it is an extra 8 points on each of these plateaus, so long as they both see it. This guy would see it, and I believe this guy, like, just barely sees it, too. Hold on. How far does this guy go in? Oh, it's flush with this thing. That's so much further than what I thought. It's like I could play it all the way out here, which is, oh, yeah, very, very easily we'll see this spot. Then my houses in range of this mason will scale better, and my temple will definitely be in range of this guy. Right, I was thinking about playing a temple on top of this area right here so that maybe it detects these masons. And there's no way that I can rotate this. I'm probably not going to lock this in because I'm going to need to place some plateaus around it to see like what feels good, what doesn't. So is this guy now no longer playable? I don't think so. So I need to move it slightly off to the left because I do want this plateau going down. It's just a lot of base points, and it does increase my building area slightly around here. This plateau very easily sees it, so then this one will as well. Let's try this mason again. Let's go with... Sure, we can have it taking up... If it takes up more space here, it looks like it's slightly above the city centers. Can I, like... Hold on. Photo mode? This one. So I can get a bit of a lower angle view at it. And it looks like it's slightly above the city centers. Hard to judge exactly, but I don't want it to be above the city centers, so we have to undo that building. So it either goes down here or it goes all the way up and then it starts moving back. So I need to start moving it down a bit. So it goes to here, I want to say. Move it left a bit. Try placing this one. This guy will... Come on. Seriously, no plateau here still? And if I rotate you, yeah, then your feet come out a bit too far. But of course this guy's playable. Alright, this also works as a plateau spot, as much as I do want to get underneath. If I get this guy completely underneath, I might actually have a second plateau spot further out, and then, ooh, maybe a terrace can be played on top of this guy, and that would be worth it for points. Alright, if I play it all the way up here, does that allow me to put a plateau underneath it? No, it still doesn't. Okay, so it is just about like the distance moved over. What if you're like all the way over here? You've got to allow this plateau to be placeable, right? Am I just not finding the spot anymore? Because this feels like it should be placeable. Okay, so this back wall right here. That's where it likes, and it doesn't want to move any further off to the right because I think it's hitting Masons underground there. So that would mean that you would have to be, like, all the way on this side. Like here. Which, I could create another set of Masons and say screw it to the terrace being in front of these guys. Hold on. If this plateau is far enough back, then the Masons up front might not matter, or like 2 of the Masons up front might not matter. So like this guy, and then 1 right here, this guy. So if I were to start with you, let's just see if this works with the plateau very easily. Let's see how far over I can get this guy without it being a problem. So like all the way, as an example, to start out with. Too much? If I rotate the plateau, that works. It gets rid of some buildable space, which every slot matters in this area. So I'm not gonna place that. Oh no, it does still fit. Ooh, I like that then. I like that spot for 1 because I can still sneak a terrace in right here. I'll have to find it again. Okay, there it is. All right. And if this is taking up, like, the perfect space of a plateau, then a wall platform coming off this wall is probably going to, like, just barely kiss these guys. I'm really hoping that it isn't slightly too big and that it is a perfect fit. If it isn't, I can play it off of this wall instead and have some of the wall platform be eaten by the wall. Now, I do need enough points to get to the next round. So, like, this plateau is looking the best. This guy's looking second best. I think I'm just going to take second best for now. I can place some houses down there. Oh, right, before I play that plateau, I need to neighborly my 3rd city center up here. Now comes the question of pushing it back or pushing it forward. Pushing it forward will allow buildings down here to be further in range of it. Pushing it back allows more things on the wall platforms to be in range. I think I'm going to be playing more buildings down low here. Am I? Am I? Because, like, most of this space is going to be taken up by the terrace anyways. Let me pop that neighborly and see what looks good. Ooh, fitting it back here also feels nice to, like, fill up that gap, and it'll probably be pushed underneath to get in line with this city center. But then it is losing a lot of its, like, potential range to score off of houses. And probably this plateau, too. If I play it out here, there isn't going to be enough space to play a mansion in the back corner anymore. Let me see what the next house looks like. Okay, hold on. You can be played back here. Never mind. So I could play a city center here and have 1 building still slotted behind these guys, which is good. I think I'm liking this one the more that I'm looking at it. Or, okay. So I do move it to the front here. What happens in that scenario? Closer to the terrace, but it is going to be, because I'm only playing houses here and not as many mansions, it's going to be open to more buildings. Let me see how it affects the plateaus in the area. Still can't play a plateau under here. I don't think I ever could, though. This is where one of the plateaus is going. This is where the terrace is, and then we've got plateau number 1 and plateau number 2. Fun. So I play a house around this corner. Of course, it would be one of the longer ones. And then I can play houses tucked in here, or even mansions tucked in here. They're only worth 25 points, yeah. It's still just a house's paradise. We save all of our mansions for rerolls. I would like to wait for, of course, my plateau and a few wall platforms to go down before this guy goes down. This is going to be 50 points, though, so that will get us to the next round, if I play it over here, which isn't as good to scale my houses now, but I need the points now. We're really hoping for some more plateaus. The lower that I play this, the more buildable space I have, but the less effective range that I can use from the city centers or the masons. So I think the higher that I play this, the better. If I do play it higher, though, then it might get in range of the terrace more, and that could be a bad thing. What feels better to me? Low or high? If I play it low and high, there's like no difference in the like effective ranges of the building because it makes it up past this little cusp here. I think I'm gonna go with my gut and go in the middle right here where I'm not seeing any bit of this pyramid, so that I still have space for a terrace. Okay, we can also Boon Sleuth after I open up this next building pack. As soon as I do, it locks in this building. Yeah, sure. Sure. We're going to take... We've got 3... Huts are going to reduce our draw pool even more. We've got 3 city centers, so it's going to be 18 points per hut. I could start playing them up here. They're also in range of the guild hall, and they're one of the smallest buildings that are going to like be able to fit in that guild hall range. So they're worthwhile. If I had a 4th city center, it'd be better, but I wouldn't even be placing a 4th city center around here. It's nice that the pyres get to see all of the city centers because it's taking it from a bird's eye view compared to one of them blocking the others if it's like level with it or close to. Fishers scale off city centers well. They could go down in this corner. I think I'm going to take huts first, though. A plateau and a park. Okay, saved. It's going to make this, what is it, like next pack so much easier to get to. Before we get ahead of ourselves, though, score multiplier, fortune teller. It's worth 4 points. It's worth 8 points up here. It's worth more up top. We're going to get to see the next boon. I don't think we're getting to the next one after, but I'll let it ride. Okay, just barely. And yes, we do get another 4 boons, and then probably 3 and 2, and then nothing. That means that I'm going to have another 4, 7, 9 boons to collect. Let me undo this fortune teller. Okay, so if I have 9 more boons after these 2 guys... Right, hold on. 4, 7, 9, 11. I have 11 boons to see. I have 5 rerolls here. I'm taking score multiplier, obviously. I've got 5 rerolls here. That means that I can see another 10 boons from this. One of those boons is going to be a reroll by the end of it. So then I can see, and with my rerolls, 18 boons total. And I have 9 boons to select. I've already gone through the pack once, which means I'm going to be able to go through it another time completely with my rerolls, and then I'm most likely, it's going to be like an 80% chance to get a third of whatever other boon I want. So, what boons do I want 3 of? What do I want 2 of? How to plan this out. I want 3 level ups for the guild hall to be better, obviously. I want 3 duplicates and bargains to hit as many fortune tellers back to back as possible, and I want 3 replaces. Do I want 3 replaces? Because I'm going to be replacing cliff houses and I'm going to be replacing mansions. Is there any other building that I'm going to want to replace that's going to be in high quantity? Not really. Wheat fields maybe, but like they're so small that and condensed that they can be in the guild hall inverter, and then they're worth their not their weight in gold. I like calling them gold, but they're not exactly that amount. It'd be 25 buildings that I'd be turning into 40. That's an extra 15 buildings for an extra like 45 points per fortune teller. If I've got, I'm gonna say 5, not 6, 5 fortune tellers. No, because I'm gonna have 1 from base, 2 from picking it, and then what is it, like at least 4 duplicates, so 6 fortune tellers total. It means that every point that I get on the fortune teller at the beginning is going to apply like 6-fold across all of the fortune tellers. Where was I going with that? I can't remember. I've actually lost my train of thought. Okay, let me go back to the boons and not think about it too hard. I'm going to grab a score multiplier. Do I? What are the boons that I want? I said it was 3 replaces, and I was trying to figure out if I wanted 3 replaces or 2 replaces. I'm thinking only 2 replaces, because I don't see myself replacing cliff houses or mansions the second time around. When I get those buildings trickling in at the end, they can be placed in the guild hall area 4 points. So I'm going to have 2 uses of this. That means that I'm only going to have to take it 1 more time. So out of the 11 boons, I'm using 1 on score multipliers for 3 total. That feels like a good enough amount. Maybe I could grab another one to make the other fortune tellers more worth it. It'd be better than like preciouses and things like that, but it might not be worth quite as much. I do also need to consider the fact that it's score malts and duplicates that I need to use to be able to get those fortune tellers. So it's like 2 boons to get an extra 1,000 points. But that's still 500 points per boon, which is better than precious. Okay, score malt is always going to be taken. Add wall platform and terrace. 1 extra wall platform is not going to amount to a meaningful, like, total of points. Taking a terrace early is nice, but it's not going to amount to a meaningful set of points. I still want to take duplicates, score malts, replaces, level ups, those kinds of things. So we reroll past them. Now we've got a wisp or a statue. Okay, if I'm going to take the statue, it would give me a bunch of nature interaction points up here. It's maybe worth 200, and that's 200 points in my pocket right now, which could be really powerful. If I take wisp, though, I can bounce it across all of my residential buildings here, because I'll start playing it on, what is it, city center, 5 points, plateau, another 5 points, get it onto a bunch of houses. It's going to pass maybe through 30 of them total, plus a few walls. Plus like towers. Let's say that it bounces on like 40 buildings total, which is a lot. I can get it done. It could maybe get up to 60 if I were to get like a really good set of bounces with a wisp. It would be worth around 300 points. I think a statue is worth 300 points itself, so the wisp is a harder version of whatever the statue is. Do I want either of these? Not exactly, but I don't know how many boons I'm able to take without, like... Guys, I think I'm going to reroll past them. They're not worth 500. I shouldn't be considering them because I should be taking an extra duplicate or a bargain or a score malt or a level up. There's a bargain. Okay. I think I'm gonna take a break here. It's getting to be a bit of a long night. I want to upload some of the other videos that I have. I'll see you guys around for next time.